All right, so our recording is waking up, my presentation is waking up. Okay, so we are officially recording. So welcome everybody. My name is Tracy Brown with the Office of Instructional Technology. As I mentioned, my presentation is attempting to get started. I am going to go ahead and turn my camera off to try and get that rolling a little bit faster for you guys. So this first session of the morning here is called Escape Rooms in Minecraft Education. We're going to get into the concept of having the students learn the content in a world in Minecraft, and then also demonstrate their understanding of that content by completing essentially a quiz inside of Minecraft. And as they answer questions correctly, they are rewarded or penalized for guessing in the world, and they get to go through the series of questions in an escape room style. So the goal at the end of the entire activity is to break out or escape from the room that they are enclosed in when they begin. So we're learning content, and then we're demonstrating our understanding of content all inside of Minecraft. Okay, so I'm going to jump to slide 2 here. As always, we want to emphasize the Maryland digital learning standards that are important for any of the professional development that we do for our students. Minecraft helps them work on their computational thinking skills. For our teachers, by attending a session like this, you're putting yourselves in the role of learner. You're in the role of citizen and also facilitator when it comes to actually using Minecraft with your students. The agenda of the actual session, the time that we have together today, we're going to actually complete the escape challenge. So I'm going to give you guys the world. You're going to download it and open it in Minecraft. That's going to take us a couple of minutes because, again, turn those cameras off and meet. It will really help. We're going to do a quick share out of how you think you can use this type of world or activity in your school, which teachers you might like to show it to, which content areas, grade levels, and so on you think might benefit from this. And then we're going to talk about how to modify a world like this. It's great when you start with a world completed, but you're going to want to take out the questions that I asked and put in your own questions, and you're going to want to modify the answer keys. So we're going to look at how to modify a Minecraft world. You're actually going to put yourselves in the role of world builder. Pretty cool. I'm going to give you guys some tips for success, and then resources always are helpful right there. Okay. Last thing that we're going to talk about, you have options for how you choose to engage with this particular activity. So a world like this, a professional development like this, does basically start with the idea that you already know how to play Minecraft, because we're just going to jump right into an escape room. So if you don't know how to play Minecraft, I've actually given Paige the world. Paige is going to open the world and she's going to complete the activity while presenting her screen to you guys. So if you're not comfortable in Minecraft, if you don't have Minecraft installed, if you don't know how to play, you can watch Paige complete the escape room challenge. If you do know Minecraft and you want to play along, option number 1 up there is to download the world, open it, and complete the challenge yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the link to the world, and I'm going to drop this link into the chat. My world is currently sitting on my Google Drive, so you're going to be able to open it from Google Drive and download it into your Minecraft. So I'm going to drop this into the chat for you guys. Okay, so it's trying to share the link. Again, I'm getting that spinning that I got from the first session this morning. It's trying. Okay, so there is a link up there for you to download the world from Google Drive. So when you click on it, in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you're going to see a download button. Upper right-hand corner of your screen, you're going to see a download button, and you're going to download that file to your computer just like any other file would be downloaded. Save it to your downloads, save it to your desktop, your documents, whatever is most convenient for you. Once it is downloaded and saved on your computer, you're going to double click on it, and that should launch Minecraft. and get you started. So at this time, I'm going to ask Paige to go ahead and open the world and share her screen, or share your screen first and then open up the world. And I understand this will take everybody a couple minutes. So, go ahead and start that download for the world and get it open. And Paige is going to share her screen and open the world for everybody as well.
Actually, the tab or the window shares better. Yeah.
So remember, when you click that link, you're going to click in the upper right-hand corner to download that world. It's the down arrow. And then it'll take a minute for that world to download and open in your Minecraft.
Yep.
Ms. Smith dropped a question in the chat about Roblox. No, Roblox is not an approved application at this time in ASCPS. The joys of presenting Minecraft through Google Meet. Everything's slow. So slow. Oh, thank you, Mr. Fontanez. I'm so glad somebody got it to open. We're sitting here looking at Paige's screen, just struggling to try and get Minecraft going. Nina, you shouldn't have to unzip. If you click on that download in the upper right-hand corner, it should just download the world. Jeremy found the cobwebs. I told you kids will get penalized for guessing. Yep, you definitely want to take the time to learn the content. Paige, I don't know if we should close it and try to restart it. I thought it would be a great option to have people be able to go through and watch you if they didn't want to engage on their own, but yours just seems to be stuck at that 52%, right?
That's what I was going to ask. All right, let me open it back up here.
Okay, so we're going to try again on our end. Again, just that idea that Paige can engage in the world for those of you that aren't comfortable doing it on your own. I'm glad that a bunch of you have already jumped in and that it's working a little bit more for you.
Tracy, can I just go to Minecraft so I don't have to download it again, or?
Yes. Yeah, because it's in your library at this point. So if you just go
Okay.
in and choose View My Worlds, it's right there in the first position.
Everyone can enjoy a picture of my cats.
Hi, babies. World join code. Okay, let me get, yep, let me grab that one for you again.
Tracy, would our students have to download just like this? Or could we, when I mentioned join codes, I meant like, Steve, Apple, those codes, those.
So this one, you actually want them all working in their own separate world. What you're talking about with those join codes, Steve, Apple, and all of that, that's a hosted world, and that would put everybody into the same world. The problem with everybody going into the same world with one of these escape rooms is once the first student completes the activity, it's going to open up a door. It's basically going to open up the wall for them. And at that point, the wall would be open for everybody. So everybody would be able to escape without actually engaging in the activity at all. So in this case, you do actually want them all in their own separate world, so that everybody has to go through the content and unlock all of the next questions and so on their own. So yeah, this is completely different than the hosted world type of concept that we may have discussed previously. I'm trying to grab that link. I'm just waiting for this to come up for me. Okay. I don't know the page is going to be able to go through and
Yeah, it doesn't even look like it's opening up
show
for
you
me
guys
anymore.
just,
I've clicked it 3 times.
yeah. Sorry, we are on the same network here, so clearly we are just using up all the bandwidth that we have available. So if you're engaging in the escape room, please continue through that, and I'm trying to get this link up for those of you that still want to get the world. Robin asked if students would have trouble accessing it at the same time. I've done Minecraft activities with students, and aside from occasionally getting kicked out, which happens when they join a Lumio lesson or Nearpod or anything else, occasionally you'll have a student or two that'll get kicked out, but for the most part, no, they don't. Thank you for sharing, Jeremy. That's awesome. So Jeremy is in a series of, this is what I'll call activity 3 questions. So he's already successfully completed 2. I deliberately was a little bit of a sinker with this question. Which robot asked you about the AI? Because I really wanted you to get it wrong. If you haven't experienced any of the penalties so far, I really wanted everybody to experience what the penalties are like. This is what Minecraft calls the honey pit. So the floor is made of honey, and then you are trapped behind cobwebs, and you have absolutely no choice but to try and get through there, which you can see on Jeremy's screen here. This is not a glitch. That is as fast as he can possibly move. And he's trying to get to that button so that he can click and get out of that room. So I mentioned that students are penalized for wrong answers. So it is really good to actually go through. I'll give you a little hint here, Jeremy. It's 5. I won't make you go back to the honey pit again. But I was a bit of a stinker in writing that question because I really wanted everybody to get it wrong and experience the honey pit. Awesome. Okay, so he's gotten the last question correct. And now we get to test our ability to navigate Minecraft a little bit. have to climb these broken stairs. Christina asked, how do I talk with the people to get the questions? You're going to right click on those NPCs and they will give you the information that they have. Looks like Jeremy fell off of the broken stairs here once. Yep, there we go. All right, so now you're going to look for an opening in the wall that will allow you to escape. You were there. Go back to the glass atrium. Yeah. All right, go talk to Dr. AI. And because everything is spinning on my computer, you may not be able to do the share out, but if you close that, Dr. AI will let you out. There you go. So at the end, when the students escape, they are rewarded with the ability to build freely. So when they click the button, they go creative, and you have a build space there where you can just build whatever you like. So as the students go through, some of the things that I wanted you to notice, when they answer questions incorrectly, they are penalized. You saw Jeremy get dropped into the honey pit there because I asked that really sneaky question. Um, so we're really trying to encourage the students to actually take the time to learn the content. Don't skip talking to the robots and go straight into the quiz. Actually go around and learn about AI from each of the robots that are around the room. Then going through the quiz, if you get the questions correct, it unlocks the next steps. So now you can go on to question 2, 3, and 4, and so on. And then after they've answered all the questions, they get a little bit of a challenge just in terms of playing Minecraft. They have to be able to climb those broken stairs. And I'll tell you guys, when I got this world, those stairs were worse. There were huge gaps between one block and the next. And Jessica just put in, oh my God, those broken stairs would have taken me an hour. They did. They did. They took me forever. I kept falling and falling and falling and falling and getting so frustrated. So I actually went back and I added a lot of blocks into those stairs. You will find that most of your students will do much better at that because their skills at navigating in Minecraft are so much better. Probably the first time you use some sort of an escape room challenge like this with your students, you may find that that they very easily complete the stairs, and you might want to go back and take some of those blocks out. But that's entirely up to you. So once they successfully climb the stairs, they get what they need to break out of the entire room. And then the reward for engaging in the entire activity is that they get to do what they love in Minecraft, which is just build, just come out here into this open space that they have to build with whatever time you have left. And we can see that Jeremy's just having a field day with this. He's got a tree here. He's got a campfire. He looks like he's ready to go camping. So the ultimate reward for completing the escape challenge is that now we've got a fire on the tree. That's awesome. The ultimate reward is that you actually get to do exactly what the kids want to do most in Minecraft, which is just build and enjoy. So what we're going to try and talk about now, hopefully Minecraft will cooperate with me. Come on, Minecraft. What we're going to talk about now is modifying a world like this. Because while you can take this exact world that I gave you guys and you can use it with your kids, your content doesn't necessarily ask the kids to learn anything about AI. That's a neat, trending topic and everything. And sure, you might want to do that for a fun indoor recess or after school club. But if you actually want to use it to teach content, the very first thing that you need to modify is what information are the NPCs or non-player characters, those robots that were stationed around the room, what information is that giving to your students? Ideally, that information would be about your science content or your language arts content or your math content. And then they have to travel around the room and talk to all those NPCs, and then they begin on the quiz. And the quiz asks them to demonstrate their understanding of what they learned from those NPCs. But ultimately, if you use this same world multiple times, you also want the ability to change the answer key. If the correct answer to question number one is always true, eventually the kids are going to figure that out. And without even visiting the NPCs around the room or the robots around the room, they're just going to jump straight into the quiz, and they know that the correct answer to question number one is always A, and the correct answer to question number two is always B, and so on. So we're going to talk about how to modify a world like this. So I'm trying to get my Minecraft to load. Come on, Minecraft. And I'm going to show you guys some tricks for modifying a world like this. We have an entire set of directions that you can follow to modify a world like this. Starting with something as simple as just changing what the NPCs have to say, but then getting down to truly changing those answer keys. And that gets into command blocks and some really cool concepts like that. So while my Minecraft is loading in order to have something meaningful, I'm going to invite you guys to ask any questions that you have before we get into modifying. You can drop them in the chat or you can just unmute, talk to me. Crickets.
How about that immersive reader? Maybe.
Immersive Reader is an awesome tool. Thank you, Leslie. Yeah, it's built into Minecraft because interacting with NPCs and even those boards that were around the room involves reading. Showing your students that Immersive Reader is incorporated into Minecraft would be a fabulous an option to make it a little bit more accessible to the students in your class, because they don't just have to read what the NPCs have to say. They can actually click on Immersive Reader, which is Microsoft's accessibility tool. It's similar to Read Write if you haven't used it before, but it allows them to listen to the text being read aloud to them. We have two questions in the chat as well. Jeremy asked, where do you find escape rooms pre-made? Minecraft actually has some on their own Minecraft education site. That's one option. We have a couple that we've put on to Teacher Intro to Digital Tools under the advanced Minecraft tutorials. I'll pull those up at the end. Hopefully my computer will be cooperating and working a little faster at that point. Trying to load Minecraft here. Is Minecraft already installed on student Chromebooks? No, it is not. Actually, it's in the Google Play Store. So students do have to install it for themselves. When they install it onto the Chromebooks, it is on that device for the students. Under their login. So it's really important that if you're using shared Chromebooks or I'll call them school Chromebooks instead of the ones that are issued to your students, you really want to try and make sure the same students get the same Chromebook each day. So if student A uses Chromebook number 10 today, tomorrow you want them to get Chromebook number 10 again, or they will have to keep reinstalling Minecraft onto a different device each day. Jeremy, I don't suppose you'd like to present going through and editing the world, because my Minecraft is just completely locked up. I'm getting nowhere.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
let's
Tracy.
go ahead.
Mine,
Let's have
mine
Jeremy do
has-
this for me again. Jeremy's going to have to get some great swag.
yeah, Tracy, sorry, mine
Yeah,
has
I'm just gonna have
never
to
loaded.
Yeah, mine has been struggling, limping along. So we're going to go back to our good buddy Jeremy and ask him to help us out again. And you can just, if you've closed the world, Jeremy, I'm going to ask you to open the exact same one that you had up originally.
Yep, on it.
See, guys, technology problems don't just happen to you. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to have Jeremy do is go into his settings. So I'm going to have you click that same pause screen you were on just a second ago. So the way you get to your pause screen is to always click escape when you're in Minecraft, and it's going to bring up that little window you see on the left-hand side of Jeremy's screen there, and he's going to click on settings. And right now he's in what's called adventure mode. You can see that under the default game mode. And what that did was it prevented you from using anything in your inventory while you were answering the questions. It prevented students from doing things like flying, which would allow them to just bypass all of the questions and everything. So a world like this works great if you put the kids into adventure or survival mode. Adventure usually works well because they don't really need to survive anything. But in order for you to edit it, you're going to need to switch over to creative mode. So when you get a world like this and you want to start editing it, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open your settings and you're going to switch to creative. You can see on his settings, it says his personal game mode is creative, but that's because he escaped. Remember, he had that option to click that button at the end where he could freely build. When you open the world for the first time, you will not be in creative mode. You'll be in adventure. So you'll want to switch those to creative, and then you can go ahead and close out of your settings. Mr. Fontanez asked, can students change their settings? They can, but your classroom settings will override their individual settings. So they're pretty much locked into that adventure mode. Okay, the second thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn on World Builder. And the way that you turn on World Builder is to type slash. Nope, go ahead and exit out of your settings, Jeremy. Yep. Type slash. And that's going to bring up a little chat box on the, and you're just going to type in WB. World Builder /WB. Click right in that gray box.
Oops.
Yep.
No, I chatted.
Type the slash first and then do WB. /WB. Good. Okay. So now we've turned on World Builder, and this is going to allow Jeremy to modify the world. He's no longer subject to any rules. He can break everything around him and build, because that's what the term World Builder does. And the third thing, which he's already doing, but I want to explain this to you guys, Jeremy's flying. One of the things you can do in creative mode is you can get up off the ground. And sometimes that's important for being able to get into the different quiz spaces, is to fly. When you are in creative mode, in order to fly, you're going to double tap your space bar and your character is going to rise up off of the ground. In order to fly up, you hold down space. In order to fly down, you hold down shift. So flying is exceptionally important when you're world building, because it allows you to get places quickly, but it also allows you to get into rooms that are locked without having to break through the wall or anything like that. You can just fly up and go over the top of the wall. So we did 3 things in order to be able to modify the world.
Tracy,
Sarah?
can you say the commands for the fly again? Can you
fly? You can actually see them on the left-hand side of Jeremy's screen.
I gotcha. Thank you.
Double tapping the space bar is fly up or begin flying, and then holding down space is fly up, shift is fly down. And once you're flying, if you double tap the space bar, you just drop back down to the ground. So we changed 3 things in order for him to be able to modify this world. We changed him to creative mode. We turned on World Builder, which is /WB. Students cannot turn on World Builder. They don't have that permission, only staff do. And then we started him flying so that he can navigate around. So Jeremy, I'm going to have you go back to the very, very beginning where you started in that first glass atrium, and then you went over and you talked to Mr. Hill. So now that Jeremy is in World Builder mode, if he right clicks on Mr. Hill, that was our first NPC, he doesn't see just the message that Dr. Hill has, or Mr. Hill has to share. He now has the ability to change everything about Mr. Hill. He can rename him. So maybe you don't want the first NPC to be named Mr. Hill. If you're doing a lesson on cells, maybe you want this to be Crick and Watson or something like that. You can name this NPC anything that is meaningful to your content. You can also change the appearance of the NPC. I think you guys saw a moment ago, he was switching through some of the different NPCs that are available. You've got not only humanoids, there's kind of these weird animal-like characters, like there's a scarecrow in the middle of the screen there. There's animals, like now you can see characters with like a lion head, a panda head, and then there's robots. So you can pick a variety of NPCs that are somehow meaningful to what you're going to do, simply by toggling through there and selecting a different appearance. Then we get to that editing the dialogue. What does your NPC actually have to say to your students? When you open up this one, Mr. Hill was telling you that you're going to engage in an escape challenge, and it's all about AI, or artificial intelligence. There's 6 robots hidden around the room, and then you have to solve the 4 problems or quiz questions in order to escape. So you'd want to leave some of this here. You want to tell the students that this is an escape room challenge, but you can certainly take out anything about AI and put in your content. One of the most important things about typing in Minecraft, you can only put your cursor at the end, and then you either have to use like your left arrow to navigate back to the point where you want to edit, or right arrow or delete key. So you don't have the ability to just drop your cursor into the middle of a sentence and modify that. This is a pretty simplified text engine that is available here in Minecraft. So Jeremy, I'll give you a moment. Go ahead and change something that your NPC has to say here. And I'll open this up to any questions from anybody about modifying what your NPC has to say. Let me find my heart. Cute.
Brain.
Okay. So that's our first NPC. When he is finished modifying what his NPC has, he can just click the X in the upper right-hand corner. There is no save button. It saves everything that you're doing automatically. So Jeremy, I'm going to have you run over and talk to NPC or modify NPC number 6. That's the one in the middle of the room there, our yellow one. So let's go over and we're going to right click on this NPC. And we're going to notice one thing that's different about robot number 6. Go ahead and click on that advanced settings button at the bottom. Advanced settings allow you to use commands or even have web links included with your NPC. And you can see this one has a command up there at the top. /TP is a command for teleport. So what this does, these advanced settings allow you to put in buttons or again hyperlinks where your NPC doesn't just give the students information, it gives them something they can click on to progress to the next step. If we had added a URL, they could have clicked and opened a Lumio assignment. They could have clicked and opened a Nearpod, a Google Doc, a Google Form, a Brightspace lesson. It could have been anything that would have been shared through a URL. We did a command. So when the students clicked the button that said, "Are you ready?" they were teleported to the place where they had to answer question number 1. And that's those coordinates. It's /TP. At P is the nearest player to those exact coordinates, 67, 0, and 22. Jeremy, close out of the advanced, click the arrow in the upper right, and then close out of the NPC settings entirely. Tap H to drop down your controls on the left. So you guys see where it says position 44040? As he moves around the world, it gives you coordinates for where you are. So when you want to try and figure out where you're teleporting a player to, all you need to do is go stand in the place that you want to teleport them to. So this is the room for quiz question number 1. And where he's standing right now, the position is 67022. So I would simply write that down and then go back to NPC number 6, robot number 6, and put in those coordinates. So you can have an NPC teleport players anywhere that you want to just by getting the coordinates for where you want them to teleport to. Maybe you want them to teleport to the next activity. In this case, we're having them teleport into the first question. So NPC number 6, robot number 6, not only gave the students questions or information. Oh, he deleted him. See, I told you world builders can do anything when they're in there. So we've accidentally deleted NPC number 6. That's okay. So he had information for you about AI, and then also a button to get started. Okay, so Jeremy, we're going to move on from NPC number 6. This is one of the downsides to Minecraft. There is no undo button. If you delete the NPC, you do have to rebuild an NPC. So he would have to go into his inventory, get another NPC, drop it, and put his information in there. Go ahead and type in NPC. Yeah, they're not called robots. They're NPCs. I named them robots. Yeah, it's an egg. So you're spawning an NPC. So he would have to start over. And this is where, like, all the information that your NPCs are going to share, it's great to have that stuff typed out in a Google Doc, because then you can just copy and paste it into your NPC. Yeah, look at all those NPCs. All right, Jeremy, go back to question number 1 inside of our little closed off room over there. Now, I know we joined Jeremy a little bit late in when he was engaging in the game here. So you can see there's a question on the board. The question says, the golden age of AI refers to the time when AI is expected to be worth the most money. Select the button under your answer choice. And if he turns to his left and right, you can see this is simply a true false statement. And underneath of each, there are buttons. So if he answers true, go ahead and click the button for true. I didn't penalize you guys for this one. It actually does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. He can keep clicking on true over and over and over, and it does absolutely nothing. Now go ahead over and click the button under false, and it teleports him to the next space where he would then go on and answer question number 2. Go ahead back to question number 1 for me, please, Jeremy. And drop down in there. All right. So the first thing we talked about was modifying the NPCs and the information that they have to give to the students, and even that option to put in a teleport. Now we're going to talk about how to modify the questions and then modify the answer choices. So here, if he right clicks on that board that has the question, he's opening it to modify it. And again, we're dealing with a simplified text engine. The only option he has to put his cursor at the end of the sentence and start deleting. Brains. Cool. So he can take out this entire question and put in something relevant to his content. And when he's done, he clicks the X to close out. Again, there's no save button. It saves everything you do automatically. He can turn to the true and false boards and do the same thing. Right click on them. And if he had actually asked a question rather than write a statement, he could change true and false to answer A is XYZ, answer B is DEF. So you can easily change what a board has to say simply by right-clicking on it, deleting the content that's there, and typing in something else. Now let's talk about those buttons. Unlike the NPC, when you put down a button, what you're using is something called a command block. And those command blocks are hidden. So the command block is actually in the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Jeremy place his cursor and break that block. So just left click on it, and that reveals the command block that is hidden underneath the button. Go ahead and right click on the command block, Jeremy. Once again, we have a command block that tells the world to teleport the student. Where is it teleporting them to? The coordinates in room number 2. So I just went over to room number 2, wrote down the coordinates for where I wanted it to send them, and then used that command /TP at player, and then put in those exact coordinates there. So go ahead and close out of this. Now I'm going to give you guys 2 tips. First, command blocks are not in your inventory. You have to give yourself command blocks. All right, Jeremy, I'm going to tell you how to get a command block. So you're going to use your / again to bring up your chat, and then you're going to type in give space at S, that's yourself. See how it's giving you tips that are coming up on the screen? At S, another space, type in command. See how it's giving you tips? Underscore block. And click enter. So now a command block has landed in Jeremy's inventory. See that in position, what is that, number 7 on his hotbar? He would now be able to add a command block to the world. So let's have Jeremy, go ahead and look down at the command block that's on the floor. Left click on it, just break that. Now right click, left. Oops, whoops, he broke it. Go ahead and drop the command block you're holding. Perfect, okay, now right click on it. And this is where you can add in your teleport. So don't forget your slash TP. And then it was at P. That's the player. And then I don't remember exactly what it was. It was 22, 0, and 46, maybe something like that. We'll make something up. Awesome. Okay, so there's your teleport. And then you don't have to worry about changing anything else on the other side. Now, that was one tip, was how to get a command block. They're not in your inventory. You have to give yourself command blocks. The second thing is, now I need to fix the hole I made in the floor. Now he can go into his inventory and start scrolling around trying to figure out what blocks are on the floor, but I'm going to give you another tip. Go ahead and close out of your inventory, Jeremy. If you place your cursor on a block on the floor that looks like this one, I'm going to have you hold down Control, and then you're going to press in on your center scroll wheel on your mouse. You're going to click in on your center scroll wheel. He's now sampled a block from the world. Do you see how that landed in space number 8 in his inventory? So now he has the exact material that we used to build this world, where he can replace the hole that he made in the floor. So let's repeat this again, Jeremy. I'm going to have you go over to breaking stuff left and right. I'm going to have you go over to the room for question number 2. Leslie, you're going to want a mouse. You just I never play Minecraft without an external mouse. So drop down in there. So this is actually where they were supposed to teleport to. It was 21,036, I think, were the coordinates. So this one has a much bigger board in the center of it, where you were asked to read all of the statements below and identify how many of those statements were true, and then click the button on the wall that corresponded to the number of true statements. Once again, you can modify the board simply by right-clicking on them. Put your cursor at the end, delete any content you don't want and replace it with your own content. Awesome. Close out of that. Yes, Mr. Fontanez, I would definitely find out if your library has external mice you can borrow. Talk to your tech support person. If you find that you don't have a catalog of, I don't know, a bag of mice, something like that, get them, put them on your wish list. You know, see if somebody has some MOI money to spend on that. That would be great. Okay, so Jeremy, break the floor underneath of number 1 there. There we go. See that command block? They're always hidden. Go ahead and right click on that command block. Once again, we're teleporting, but because question number 1 is wrong, where we're teleporting them to is another sort of honey pit type of place. Jeremy, go ahead and close out of this command block editing, and I want you to right click on that button above it. This one actually teleports you to the roof. Fun. All we have are the spider webs set up, so he would have to walk through those spider webs to get over to the button on the floor in front of the command block, which would drop him back down to question number 2. So finally, when we get to question number 2, we're penalizing the students for guessing. We really want them to have taken the time to visit all the NPCs around the room and learn the content that's there. So every single command block that is buried underneath of those buttons teleports the students to that cobweb field up on the roof there, except for the correct answer, which is number 5. So go ahead over to 5 and break the floor in front of that one. And now we have a command block that teleports to a different set of coordinates. So all of the other answer choices teleport to the web field, except for the correct answer. So if you wanted to change the answer key, you could simply take those coordinates, the ones that are currently under number 5, 45, 0, 52, which teleports you to quiz question number 3. You could put those under block number 6 or block number 2 or block number 3 and replace the coordinates under block number 5 with the ones that teleport you to the web field. And then, of course, replace the blocks in the floor. So I'm going to pause for a moment. I see some questions have come into the chat. I know people like a little time to process kind of what's going on. It's just great to be able to plug your content into what the NPCs have to say, what the boards have to say, and then change the answer keys so that you can use this same world over and over again. Couple of questions that we have here. Jessica shared that their testing coordinator has mice to lend out. That's another person in your school I hadn't even thought of. That would be great. It definitely helps just in terms of navigating the world. We have touchscreen laptops. Students have touchscreen Chromebooks. Trying to play Minecraft on a touchscreen or just with your keyboard is a nightmare. You definitely want external mice. Very important. And certainly if you want to sample from the world, that's important. But that's really only for you when you're world building. The students aren't going to be sampling blocks from the world typically when they're engaged in play. So it's really just for you being able to modify the world. And then Leslie asked, do that command blocks have to be hidden? No, they don't have to be hidden. It's really just a part of the magic, I'll call it, that you hide the command blocks and then clicking the button just seems to do magical things. Chances are your kids know that these are teleports and things like that that are occurring to actually make things happen. But it's part of the fun, or again, I'll use the term magic of Minecraft, that you can hide these command blocks down on the floor, and then the students don't know how they're getting there. It's magic. Okay, so I'm going to thank Jeremy. That's some basic stuff for modifying this world. And it does mean you can use the same escape room world over and over and over again and just keep replacing the questions that are asked. You can replace the appearance of the NPCs. You can change where the NPCs are. You don't have to have 6 of them hidden around the room. You can have 3 of them. You can hide them in different places. And then you can change the questions and the answers for each of the experiences. And as you get more advanced, you can even, dare I say, completely change the world. So then instead of 4 questions that they have to answer, it's 6, or maybe it's only 2. Okay, Jeremy, I'm going to ask you to stop sharing your screen now. Thank you so much. I will be definitely sending you some Minecraft swag. Saved my bacon there. Okay. I'm going to present to you guys and show you some resources because we're getting down to, yeah, we have until 10:20, so we've got just a few minutes left to wrap up here, and I want to make sure that I give you guys the different resources that I have for you. I've closed Minecraft, so I should actually be able to share my screen now. I should. Whew. Okay. I do have directions here for how to edit the escape room world. Coming up here. So it starts at the very top with what you're going to need to do. Remember, the first 3 things we had Jeremy change. We needed him to be in creative mode. We needed him to turn on World Builder, and it's so much more successful if you're flying because you can navigate around the world and actually drop yourself into those quiz rooms without having to break open the wall and so on. Okay, my share button is finally active. So I'm going to drop this in so you guys can open and see this a little better on your own screen. Let me get that link. It's coming up. Okay. Instead of holding everything up, she could have just said, Loretta, send me one that I can see. But they don't. They want to communicate everything through page, which is causing a lag. Where before, everything was communicated where. All right. So if you guys want to open this editing the escape room world with me, you can read along as I go over some of this without having to look at that tiny text on my own screen. So again, the top tips at the very top up there are just making sure you're in creative mode. making sure you have World Builder turned on and making sure you know how to fly so that you can navigate around a little bit quicker. Then we have tips for editing the NPC itself, things like changing the name, the dialogue, the appearance, and then going into the advanced settings where you can actually have a command to teleport the students someplace. The most important thing about using that teleport is you really need to go to where you're trying to teleport the students to, and then write down those coordinates. When you see the coordinates on your screen in Minecraft, they're going to be written with commas in between them. You might have seen that on Jeremy's screen. It was like 36, 0, 22. Leave the commas out. You don't need the commas. It's just 36 space 0 space 22. So you're just getting XYZ coordinates and putting those into your teleport there. Editing command blocks. Those command blocks typically are buried right beneath a button, so you're going to have to break the floor. And then that shortcut control and press down on your center scroll wheel will allow you to copy the exact material that the floor was made out of. So if you have to break the walls or floor in order to figure out where that command block is buried, don't panic. You'll be able to put it all back after you've broken everything to locate that block. Once you've located your command block, you right click on it and you'll be able to see the current command and put in a new one. Common commands. So we did kind of add that in a separate section there, that your command block can have absolutely nothing. Remember quiz question number 1? If you clicked on true, it did nothing. We buried a command block and just put in no command. So clicking on the button did absolutely nothing. You could change that and have it actually penalize the students, but I wanted you to get through one question without being dropped into the web field or the honey pit. Command blocks for either NPCs or sorry, a command that'll work for blocks or NPCs is that teleport. It's /TP at P, that's nearest player, and then XYZ, those coordinates that you got minus the commas. Another more advanced command, you noticed when he dropped his power rod into the hopper at the very end, it opened up the wall. That is a fill command that is done, so /fill, and then the coordinates and air. So what you're putting in are the coordinates for, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on this for you. The coordinates for the top right, or excuse me, top left and bottom right block are what go into the XYZ and XYZ. And what this tells it to do is replace everything in between those, everything that makes a block, with air. So we didn't actually do that one live together in the interest of time because we're down to 2 minutes here, but you do have the directions there. And of course, you can always reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you get that set up. Before you give your world to your students, after you've modified it, there's a couple of things that you want to make sure you do. You need to put it back in the default game mode. You don't want them to start in creative mode or they're just going to start building in your world. So you want to put it back in whatever the default game mode was. In the case of this one, it was adventure mode. You're going to want to clear out the inventory. Whatever's in your inventory actually ends up being in the student's inventory when they join the world. So clearing out the inventory is /clear. If you were testing any of the questions, you're going to want to make sure that you put things back. If you broke any walls, if you broke the floor, if you opened the wall at the end after placing the power rod in the hopper, you want to rebuild those walls. Again, if you actually completed the quiz and put the rod in the hopper, you want to go get it out. You want to go get that out of the chest at the end, and then go all the way back into that first glass atrium where we started in the world, and use the command /set world spawn so that that's where the students enter. So lots of little tips there for modifying the world. But we do have the world ready to go as is, and the only thing you would really need to do is change the content. So it's just as simple as changing the NPCs information. So the last thing I'm going to do with my last minute here.
I just set the attendance link.
Thank you, Paige. Yep, Paige dropped the attendance link in there. So if you go to Teacher Intro to Digital Tools, there is an entire page under Applications, Application Support, dedicated to Minecraft. On the main page, you have basics of getting started in Minecraft. But when we talk about escape rooms, we're talking about something a little bit more advanced. So you're looking for this white button right here towards the top that says click here for advanced tutorials and resources. Customizable pre-made worlds. You'll find that we have escape room, and then all the details for how to modify that. So you've not only got the link to download the escape room, but also to pull down that resource on how to modify. Okay, so we are officially over on time. So I'm going to let you guys drop out. Make sure you clicked the attendance link. I'm going to let you guys drop off the call so that you have a few minutes before your next session if you need it. But if you have questions, please stay with me and I will try to answer those questions for you guys. And huge, huge, huge shout out to Jeremy, because without you, this session really would not have been very interesting. It would have been you guys looking at Minecraft spinning on my screen for all 50 minutes. Okay,
Or staring at
so
my
thank you
cats.
guys. I'll see you in later sessions. And again, stay with me for a few minutes if you have questions. All right, I think